Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is the second non-farms, but we got Donald Trump tested positive for coronavirus. Yes, you saw that in the title. Market freaking out. Holy shit. This move. I have to tell you, so yesterday, we're getting a little frustrated at the end because I was like, dude, the market is like reacting to my clicks. Well, I found out I was being really stupid. The sim, because I was hitting it with 50 lots, the sim was acting up on me. So that's why it was like slowing down and then it was catching up, and that's why you'd get like this rush of volume and it looked like it was reacting. But it really wasn't. So I went in and by the time I had figured that out, I ended up being short like 1,000 sim contracts yesterday, and then the market just dumped, and all of a sudden I was in the money by like $100,000, which totally screws up all my sets. I shouldn't have done it. But yesterday was just a crazy day. We're coming in here. Let's see here. Let's just set this really quickly because we're gonna have to. Yeah. Okay. Coming into the volume profile. Okay, so you can kind of see yesterday in ES. Yesterday in ES, it was just kind of all over the place. But there was a pretty good drop. This one right here, that's when I made the money. Then it came back. Then overnight, Donald Trump wins, or not wins. He's got coronavirus. Market is just absolute panic. Absolute panic. Down a good 40 points. A lot. Treasuries up. Treasuries were getting killed, and now they're back up. Man, those guys that went short the treasuries have to be upset. They've got to be upset. Oh my gosh. Oil down. Gold not up. Come on. You think gold's a safe haven, guys? I don't know. It's been like this for days and days and days and days. I don't know what else to convince you. Copper took a really, really big hit. Okay, so that's where we're at. But here's the thing: we got non-farms, so like, I don't even know if the non-farms payrolls comes out. So let's see. What are we looking for? We're looking for payrolls 850,000, and the unemployment rate 8.2. I want to reiterate that the unemployment rate and the payrolls come from separate surveys, so they both matter. I think that a lot of traders assume that the unemployment rate is based off of the payroll survey, but it is not. The payrolls is calculated from businesses that do payroll, so payroll companies. The unemployment rate is done by a household survey. They're two completely separate things, so they both matter, all right? And all of the numbers underneath the unemployment rate, but generally speaking, it's that percentage that matters the most. And also, the average hourly earnings month over month is important, and we're looking for a reading of spot 2 versus a reading of spot 4. So we got about 2 minutes in here. I frankly, we're gonna come in here. Yeah, we're just gonna come in here, and I'm gonna take a long without any stop or anything. And I'm just gonna be sitting there with the puke in a sim account. But I think that the possibility of the payroll report being good And the imbalance in the market is so extreme that I'm willing to just straight up gamble on it. Devastrix, hey, I'm new to your channel. Could I ask you something? Do you code some of your stuff? I'm starting in this stock exchange world, but I'm a developer. I don't know. Oh, it's 100% useful. So I've got a couple of videos that, if you are well versed in C Sharp, then you're going to be right at home programming in NinjaTrader. And I have a bunch of videos that go through like the major methods that you need to know to program, and within a day you'd be able to make anything you want. If you know anything about C Sharp or a similar language. Yeah. Maybe Java, you'd probably be okay with Java too. Okay, well. Look at that shit. There is no liquidity in there, so any order is just sending it all over the place. That's crazy. Oh, we need to change this to the 10-year. I was messing around with a few things yesterday. See, I was messing with my own indicator package. Woo, okay. Okay, it is bad. It is bad. Flipping around. Oh, we need to change this so it shouldn't be hundreds. We want thousands over here. Okay. I haven't coded in C Sharp, but I read NinjaTrader scripts and it was pretty easy to read. Thanks for replying. Yeah, no, it's extremely useful. So I tell you, here's the most useful thing about it. I'm actually surprised that it hasn't moved more. 860 is really bad. Sorry, 661 versus 850 expected, and the unemployment rate itself was down as well, and the average hourly earnings was down as well. I want to be like full. I'm willing to be 5 short on this. They'll try and stop people out here, but this I want to be short. It'll be hard because people are already short, but that is really bad numbers. There you go. I think you might see the dollar come up here. Let's see if they do what they do. The dollar didn't actually react all that strongly. Guess I could code APIs in Python and call them from C Sharp. You could. So, I mean, I don't know if you would really, if you were doing some sort of machine learning algorithm and you really couldn't find the equivalent C Sharp library. I haven't gotten into that. I really think that's kind of one of the next areas that I need to start exploring. But there are APIs in C Sharp that you can just pull over. So, but I tell you, the place where I think it's the most useful is people will have a strategy. They'll think, okay, in this situation, and blah 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 blah, and this is how I want to take it. And usually it doesn't actually work. And if you program it and then you go in and you backtest it, then you really know how it behaves and what you should expect and whether it's really worth trading. Now there's a lot of things that you got to keep in mind about backtesting. One of the biggest problems with backtesting is that your trigger is going to have to be on the close of a bar. Right. It's trying to calculate interbar doesn't work on tick replay. So, there's a lot to learn there, but we're making more videos on that. I'm really quite surprised that, given how bad the non-farms were, that they're not pushing down lower. But it's actually really calmed down. I guess there's probably not a whole lot of people that can still sell. So when I had to bail on that, how bad was it? What? I only lost $5 on that? Are you kidding me? Wow. I got away with something really bad there, guys. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, yep. We do have a Discord channel and we have a programming channel. I'm usually not as fast to reply to the programming channel as I should be, but there's that we can use too. Financial juice. Stuff that moved the markets. And then, but it didn't actually move the market. What the heck? Pence and the second lady test negative for coronavirus. Okay. So yeah, so now let's talk about coronavirus now that we got all that out, right? There is a possibility that the second debate gets canceled. If Donald Trump becomes symptomatic, then probably the second debate is not happening. He could still recover and be there for the third debate. Okay. So I wouldn't really expect the market to do anything crazy unless we got a headline that they're experiencing symptoms. Okay. That would move the markets. Otherwise, I don't know if this really has a long-term impact, I wouldn't be buying it today, but we could recover next week and be fine, potentially. But you're going to get a lot of headline chaos here. The first thing is that this provides the news a bunch of opportunity to throw headlines about who caught it and who didn't. Okay, they've known about this since Wednesday, apparently, or they kind of got the first signs that it was happening on Wednesday. So, yeah, he might have spread it to a couple of people. Like he might have spread it to Joe Biden. Quite frankly, that will be one that I'd be watching. Because I don't know. I mean, Donald Trump's a big guy. He is overweight. He would be pretty vulnerable to the virus. But Joe Biden is so frail. Like, if Joe Biden caught it and started expressing symptoms, I would be like, oh my gosh, is he gonna really survive? On the other hand, we now have therapeutic treatments for it. Like there's this whole thing with the antibodies. There's remdesivir. Chances of a president dying from it are extremely, extremely low, even with all of the risk factors that he has. So this really works more into what kind of a news narrative and how it affects the election does this actually have, which is a lot more difficult to suss out, isn't it? Oh, by the way, we should turn on the text to speech. Right? Will people have, feel sympathy for Donald Trump and it actually helps his poll numbers? Or when he recovers and it's not a big deal, that helps his poll numbers? These are the kind of questions. Or what if Joe Biden catches it and it's worse? That's another one I think you could kind of think about. Yeah, don't tell anybody that Trump has a 99.95% chance of surviving COVID. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's like honestly, like so we didn't come back here, by the way. This is crazy, right? And you look at the 5-minute chart. Okay. So look at this. The buyers had some contracts up here and moved down. So this is a case where the without being able to show stop orders, you can't actually calculate it, because both of these should probably be down here now at this point, because all of those positions got washed. That said, not there's going to be more people to sell. I think we could hold this all day. We're just going to have to wait till the top of the hour for them to come in, right? Lou, of course, he will recover where he has a team of doctors monitoring. Oh yeah. No, it's not just that. Like if you go and you look at overall, we're seeing a flood of cases right now. We really are. But not many deaths at all. Now, part of that is because the people that are catching it now are healthy people. But it's also because our treatment for it is so much better than it was. I'm just saying straight up, you have a greater chance of surviving the virus now than you did 9 months ago. So, and then when you add on top of that he's got like a whole team of doctors watching him and they caught it early and all this sort of stuff, like, yeah, the chances of him dying from it are practically nil. Yeah, there's a massive quantifiable gulf between what people believe about COVID and what it is. Yeah. You remember those surveys where they were asking like what percentage of the people that died were over 60, and people thought that it was like, you know, maybe it was like half and it's actually like 70 or 80%. Bring this back over here. So it is definitely turning down, but the action is pretty tight.
Winston's mom says, in other news which affects your family, speculator Seth, the airlines are laying employees off at a terrifying for flying right. Will your wife keep her position with the airlines?
At a terrifying for I think you meant a terrifying rate. Yeah. So I haven't heard anything. There's not that much movement after this non-farms data. I'm really quite surprised, especially given the amount of chaos that we had when it came out, and now it's like all quiet. Like what? But that must be that most of the market makers out there are already short. So this is a tough situation. Uh-oh. Okay, so first Squawk tweets, President Trump's virus case mild so far with cold-like symptoms. He is symptomatic. That's they're playing it off as that it's mild, but him being symptomatic is a big deal to me. Okay. I, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that second debate is unlikely. Put that in the Discord. Now maybe it's better this way because you hear all this stuff about the debate moderator for debate 2 like used to work for Joe Biden and all this stuff and was like an anti-Trumper, like a never Trumper. Yeah. I was like, how did he get, like, when all that stuff came out, I was really like, how was he selected? These people and what the heck was the campaign doing? So they should have called that out a long time ago. But if it doesn't even happen, then hey. Oh, by the way, we should turn the robots on. This report saying that the virus case is mild so far, that is, they knew exactly how because the headline could have been Donald Trump shows symptoms, but instead they said it's mild. That is, that clever, 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 clever.
Uzi Knesset says only fair way to moderate the debate. Have it done by a random undecided voter lol.
But you know what I think it was a funny one, and I'm sure that a couple of people on the right might be a little upset about what I'm going to say, but like Joe Rogan said that he could do a debate, and he invited them to do it, and Donald Trump said yes that he would do it, but Biden has ignored it. Are you kidding me? Joe Rogan is totally pro Trump. Like he has hosted so many of these right wing people. I really don't think that it would be a fair venue. It really wouldn't. Maybe he can do it, but he could do it. I think he could do it fairly, but if I was Joe Biden, I wouldn't agree to it. I don't know about totally, but he definitely leans. Yeah, totally. No, if I was Joe Biden, I wouldn't agree to it. I don't know, but like, who's really fair these days? This is the thing that I always find so funny and amusing and stuff. It's like China's trying to influence the election, Russia's trying to influence the election, and now we're saying Chris Wallace is trying to influence the election. You know that Chris Wallace asked Donald Trump that exact question in another debate, and he denounced white supremacy in the debate, and he asked him the question again. That is so sketch. Okay, but like, who isn't trying to influence the U.S. election at this point? Come on. There's not a person on this planet that doesn't care about what happens in the election and isn't trying to influence in it in some way, you know? There's not going to be a fair debate moderator. There's certainly a certain level of acceptableness. I think that Chris Wallace trying to fact check Donald Trump and asking a question with a false assertion in it, arguing with him over it, shows that he was unfit to be a moderator. That's the thing that really bothered me the most. Yeah. Okay, so they are going down. See, I'm hearing it on the squad. So the U.S. Health Secretary tested negative. So now we get this, like, literally everybody in government gets tested, and we'll get a news headline about whether or not they were positive or not. Curiously enough, though, I've only heard the president and his wife that actually tested positive. Biden says he is sending his thoughts to Trump and the first lady for recovery. Mohammed Salim, did you block me, Seth? I thought I was commenting. No, I did. I hid your messages because you were being a big pill. Did you create a new account to evade it? Well, I will give you a second chance, but none of this funny business. But if I were you, I would, if you have questions, I have 10 accounts. Well, there's things I can do about that. But I'll give you a second chance. But none of this fun. If you have questions, then ask your questions. But I'm sorry, dude, but you've been annoying and we're becoming a distraction. And if you become a distraction again, I will remove you. Well, interesting that it's showing me bubbles on that because there wasn't really. I don't know. I don't really see a whole lot of volume over here, but the Vista chart shows bubbles, so whatever. U.S. Treasury Secretary Munitions Aid. I advised he does not need to quarantine. Well, because he tested negative, I guess. What Brannigan Barrett is upset about this headline. Biden doesn't give a hoot for Trump. This is all politics. So sad that in the modern world, people can't say what they really want for fear of being non-politically correct. Do you really think Biden is on his knees praying for Trump? Oh, come on, Brannigan. Come on. He did the nice thing. Give him kudos and move on. Oh. This is funny. It's funny that bothers him. I don't mean that to be a criticism. It's just like that's his personality. I just find it interesting. Yeah, I'm just seeing all. Okay, so Joe Biden has tweeted, Jill and I send our thoughts to President Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump for swift recovery. We will continue to pray for the health and safety of the president and his family. And of course, my stupid robot that is intentionally stupid is going to try and go long over and over and over and over and over again today and lose money. He actually did good yesterday. So that's interesting, isn't it? Don't think I can really filter it correctly. Madrid and 9 nearby cities enter partial lockdown today. That's not good. Well, what do you think is like a worst case scenario for the S&P 500 here? Well, I think they could definitely get below. I mean, if we're going to have a bear day, I think below 3290 for sure. And then what? I tell you what, how about we all just sell it on the open? We can get down to that negative 15% drop and then shut the exchange down. You know, give everybody a break, go home early. Doesn't that sound nice? Let's do it. Silly says, just give me a heads up because I literally made 100 comments. It doesn't tell you? Are you for real? Okay. I apologize. I thought that it told you. I really thought that it says, you're. So does that mean that guys like, people who shall not be named that have been putting negative comments on my channel, could still be trying to put negative comments on the channel and we're not seeing them because they're basically shadow banned I did not realize that it shadow bans them. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, well. If you've been trying to send me messages, Vinny, you're shadow banned. Oh man. Oh, we're gonna get a lot of viewers today too, because everybody's gonna want to come in and hear about. I have to tell you. See, did you guys look at like the comment threads and stuff? Like, holy crap! Look at this. 'Cause I didn't hear about it until I woke up. I got into the bathroom and was like, "Whoa, wait, what?" Oh, hey, cool. Futures Trader 71 really is pushing this Twitter thread that he made. Dude, why don't you turn this into a video? I would help you. I'm going to go make it into a video. Maybe I'll make it into a video for you. Because I thought it was a good thread. I don't think that it was the Holy Grail, but it was a good thread.
Block by.
Anyways. Of course, it shows me. White House knew Trump had likely been exposed. He traveled and held events. Anyways. 572 comments. But what we really need is to sort by hot, not by best. It's not even actually showing up as top for me anymore. Darn algorithms! Stop trying to control what I see. Make it thread. 85,000 upvotes, 42,000 comments. Wait, is that, how does that factor in top all time? No, why did it, what the hell? Okay, so all-time mega thread was that the House voted to impeach Donald Trump. Oh, that's interesting. 82,000. Oh, it's not actually even in the top 10. Okay, never mind. I'm full of shit. Don't listen to me. Save this one. Okay, so the question was, do you agree it was a winner on that night? Trump's most liked tweet is the one. Really? Wow. Finally got all the commies to like a tweet of his. There you go. Yeah. So, on the debate, you can go back and watch my comments on it the other day or two, but I wouldn't agree that it was a winner on that night. I think he was speaking to his base, and he probably did a pretty good job on that one. I've been watching and participating in this argument over whether or not the Proud Boys are white supremacists, which they aren't. And that's kind of been interesting to see that unfold because a lot of people have been just absolutely convinced. And then the Proud Boys came out and were denouncing white supremacy and all of these things. Like, the thing that people don't forget is that these people can talk. Even though they did ban the leader from Twitter for no reason, they're not white supremacists. So, yeah, that one's been kind of interesting because I think some people are kind of realizing that they're getting fooled. But overall, the problem is that I think that he needs some of these people on the edges, and I really, really, really feel that he's got to get some of those white suburban moms. He's got to crack through the barrier on that, and the debate was an opportunity. So that's why overall I was saying, like, it's a missed opportunity. I don't know if it was really that bad overall. I don't think that his performance was bad. Did you watch that CNN clip where they're like, okay, who here thought that Joe Biden won the debate? And like one person rose their hand. And a CNN focus group, I was like, what the heck? I think most people were just disappointed overall that those were the two choices, but I digress. So here's this thing about that Futures Trader 71 comes in. So he says the Holy Grail. I don't think it's quite the Holy Grail. Here it is. Your job is to align with the market, is not to be a mind reader or forecaster of economies and analyst. I mean, the only way that you can align yourself with the market is to try and forecast. So to read the news and determine how they're going to react. So that's the one thing that I disagree with them about. And then this is all correct. You need direction, stop size, entry location, and targets to all be correct. Sample the market as many times as possible at the lowest risk that fix the time frame and product. None of this matters if we aren't here tomorrow because we blew up today and ran out of money. It's so cliche, but it's the truth. Risk comes first. That's true. If I suck at managing risk, but they have the greatest trading plan and edge in the world, then I might as well go to Vegas. At least the drinks are free while I lose. Note, this is the third time. Yeah. You know what? I'm pretty good managing risk on a per trade basis usually, but of course I did make that one mistake the other day and it turned out. My issue is when I'm doing poorly, I take risk over and over when I shouldn't. I'm not as good as my last trade. Living this way is intolerable, volatile, and will wreck my psychology. I'm as good as my best execution of my edge. Period, win or lose. I executed the trade according to the plan, and I had a 50-50 chance. I cannot change this fact. That's true. Because even if you have an edge and you have a possibility of predicting the market, sometimes it's not going to work out. See, then he goes into all the psychology stuff. If randomness is built into the game, then my stop is simply the price of the token, and I need to determine if the next round will pay me or cost me. My stop is just a fee to participate. Nothing in life exists without a fee to participate. To survive, we must have understanding of how our market product trades, what moves it, and how we align ourselves with it, not it with us. It isn't personal. The market is a force of nature, align or run over, period. No sense arguing. Only your family cares about how you feel. The market doesn't. That isn't his job. The market is infinitely providing opportunity to win or lose, relentless like the ocean or the wind. Our job is to find out the way to use its force to carry our position to profit with minimum risk. I get into these issues where the market starts getting really volatile, and it seems like you just get stopped out, no matter what you do, and it's too hard to try and hold a winner. I really think that knowing when not to trade is one of the most important things. And then that's one of the places where I feel like I make mistakes a lot. Most people personalize and complicate it beyond what it really is. That's part of learning, but we become pros when we shed the complications and see the action, then layer away setups to engage and manage trades. We can't study our losses away. So many people fail by trying, but they're just there in randomness, stick to the plan. Now this is an interesting point because I feel like it kind of contradicts his first point, but I don't think that his first point, he meant it quite the way that I am reading it. But if you don't have edge, you're probably not going to find an edge by analyzing why it failed, right? Because it's basically like there's this huge space, and they're inside of that space, there's these little specks of edge, and you're trying to find these specks of edge. And they're only there in they only occupy 1% of this volume. So if you go and you sample a random piece in that space, the chances are you're not going to find anything. And you can analyze that piece of space all you want. it's not going to tell you where the specs actually are. Makes sense. The only way that you're going to be determine where the specs are is by understanding the market and understanding why the specs are in the places that they're at. Right? Anyways, happy surfing in the end. We can't take it with us. It's just a journey. Trading is one heck of a ride and a supreme mentor educator about who we really are. We can always reason away our bullshit. In a regular job, the market doesn't allow it. And finally, let's forgive and love ourselves. We do our best. That's all we can do. Enjoy the surfing and the victories alike. Even in quitting trading, we are a lot wiser for it. Again, we do the same in real life. The results are just not immediate. In the beginning, I always traded every condition to learn how. Live action saying, yeah, because the market is like water, has flow and speed. You only trade flow, but you don't care about speed. Again, wow. So I think that it's really can be difficult sometimes in the moment to realize what's actually going on. You know what I mean? This is where you can really run into a problem. Is you know, at what point do you realize that a 16 tick, even a 16 tick stop isn't enough? And frankly, for me, if a 16 tick stop is not enough and I can't really let something run, then I probably shouldn't be trading it at that time, right? This one I was able to let run. It's fine. Still relatively lazy here. I'm kind of surprised. Anyways, but the issue, I just don't think it should be called the Holy Grail. You know what I mean? Because the problem is that you can know all of those things and still fail at trading miserably because you don't actually understand the market. But this is a bigger issue that I have. Holy Grail is not the right analogy. The Holy Grail is not the right analogy. It says true, yeah. I mean, we go to the Holy Grail probably because most of us are from a Western culture and Christian, and so that's kind of always the analogy that we use. But I think that the religious contexts from like Hinduism are a much better analogy for how you need to approach markets. And I'm going to make a video about that. But I told you guys I wasn't going to make it until I hit 5,000 subscribers. So tell all your friends. We're getting close to 4. It's been a lot faster than I thought it would be. Hearing people are skeptical about Brexit, of course. WTI crude futures extend drop to as much as 5%. Well, it's getting pretty ugly over there, man. In oil. Oil's been hit way harder than... Well, they're not to a local low either. They were lower at the beginning of September. Much like we were lower at the beginning of September in the ES. Was it the beginning of September? Oh, no. Oil went down earlier. Well, that's curious. But, they got completely different news flow over in oil, right? What about... Oh, my. Something that could play... That could factor in here is that they were really fighting for that 50-day moving average. And yesterday, they were just barely able to close above it. And now today, you got basically a trend day down. that they could maybe be more technically forced selling again. It being Friday too, I don't think helps. Morning, hey Rob, how are you? How are you? Oh, you know what? By the way, I want to check something. I should do this. No. Okay. Hmm. I was checking. Oh, actually. CC58. Yep, that's right. And I'm A42, right? Oh, I'm not. Oh no, A42. Yeah, I am. So I'm putting together an indicator package, and it's got licensing built in. So when you use it, I can see. And I set the website up, but I haven't given it to anybody yet. But I was wondering if like a robot would find it or something like that, and somebody would download it, but they haven't done that. Newsy hasn't done it yet. I'm sure he'll do it after he's done trading. So, oh, my depth robot wanted to take along there. Okay. Okay, well, they're heading for that 3,300. They ain't quite there yet. Oh, actually, they did touch it. They bounced. Oh, that was overnight. Okay. Waiting on my mouse pad. Oh, what kind of a mouse pad did you get? I've got one from Cooler Master. And it's made out of this really nice, it's like corduroy. It's like a really tight corduroy. And it's really slick. I really like it because I used to be all about the hard pads that were really slippery. But this one is really slippery and smooth. And I find that I have really good control. Really good control. I can click. I mean, I don't always click exactly where I want to, but that kind of happens when you're doing the snap, you know. That's what she said. Oh man. Oh, you know, another thing that we should do this. I don't think that I'm be the best trading today. I mean, like, I think there's good opportunity, and I think I have a good trade, but I think that my execution could be off because we did not sleep well last night. Let's see what my reaction time is, shall we? Should I cancel? Oh, is that what it is? Oh, nice. No, that'll be a great mouse pad. That'll be a great mouse pad. Unless you want one that like covers your whole desk. The one that I've got covers the whole desk. I should turn on the reader. I've been favoring just reading them out lately, but okay, 180 is not bad. That's bad.
Air Cages says, "What's up, my Sethomaniacs?"
Hey, where have you been? Sethomaniacs. How have you been, man? Okay, 233 is not bad. I like to be under 200, but It looks like the bad night's rest has not been. So the baby is teething, and he's got a runny nose, and so yeah, we didn't sleep very well last night. Like when he'll wake up and he's crying, and it's like the most shrieking, like you'd think somebody dropped him on his head or something.
Air
Like,
Cages says I'm still on vacation. Just
oh,
checking
okay.
in.
Well, we've been doing okay. We're actually doing really, really well. We've developed some new technical edges. We've kind of developed a better framework for looking at the market overall as a whole and factoring in news and people's positionings and stuff. And so it's been really, really great. But when it gets too volatile, I just can't handle that stop. And I'll keep trying to trade it. So I had a really bad day. Um, but overall, I'd say we're still doing really well. So progressing. I'm developing an add-on that will kind of help me deal with some of those things. So it'll be a little risk center that I can set up alerts, and it will give me warnings about the market conditions, so that I can more quantifiably determine when I really shouldn't be trading. Yeah. So yeah, fun stuff. And of course, Bitcoin has just been, I don't know. Where's the one? I mean, they've kind of been sitting there for a while, between 11K and 10K, almost all month actually. You do get moves, but it just seems really lackluster to me.
Air Cages says BTC is my favorite stable coin.
It has been slow lately, hasn't it? The thing that I know I keep coming back to it, but it's just because I see this stuff in so many places. There are a lot of people out there these days, no question about it, that are risk adverse, we'll say. And they're concerned about like everything just completely falling apart. And they're always recommending Bitcoin and gold. And they have not been performing this month during this downturn at all. The treasuries haven't really. I guess the only thing that really has been working is cash. But what you gonna do? Uh-oh. What happens when markets open lower on non-farms? Oh, well, let's log in here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, we are getting a pullback here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a big pullback at some point, but well, we got about 10 minutes to the open. I don't
Mohammed
know.
Salim Alami says just called out a trade in your group chat and I am out for today.
Oh, but okay, thank you very much. I don't know if that was really calling a trade, but okay. You call a trade, you have to say the exact price that you get in at, and call it when. Otherwise, they don't even really know what you're talking about. I need Dot to talk in Fry. Okay, what are the treasuries doing here? Are they coming back across, huh? Trump visa ban partially blocked by federal judge. Catturd says I'm looking forward to President Trump's tweet storm over the next 2 weeks. Oh man. So if this turned into Donald Trump is just cooped up in a room with nothing better to do than to tweet, then that's going to be Nah, if I was him, I would just be quiet. Well, you have to be some press conferences and stuff at some point, but
Mohammed Salim Alami says okay. But I said now and I guess it tells the
sure.
time of my comment.
But next time just name a price. Name a price. Wilson says price action really dirty, no clean plays. Well, Pelosi is on MSNBC right now. That could be good or bad. I see a lot of liquidity down in the 3,300 area. So when you come down in here, you see all these showing up. Before that, it's all 50s. Pompeo will go ahead with Asia trip next week. Trump is said to have minor symptoms. He was lethargic at Bedminster fundraiser per an attendee as of last night. Officials were discussing treatment options as well as options for addressing the nation. Steve Cox says, I hope they both die. Screw this guy. Just in case anybody was wondering if these people really
Rob
believe
Farley
this shit
says
that
about to
comes
have
out of their
Ninja all
mouth.
set up on my new AMD pooter. Hoping to do replays this weekend.
Oh yeah, good deal. I've never really messed with the Ninja replay, but yeah, you're just starting out. That's cool. I always get concerned when I hear people like doing stuff on the weekend because something that'll happen is you get like way too into it, and I've found that the more of a
RJ Wheel
life you
says Ninja
have,
replay sucks.
yeah, the replay isn't very good on my understanding. Like it works, but it's especially if you're just using a chart. Anyways, I digress. This is not important. Don't worry about that, Rob. I've noticed that in order to be an effective trader, that you got to have good stuff going for you outside of trading too. And what I notice a lot of people do is they just get like laser focused, like they just want to live and breathe the market all the time, and then they're on Discord on the weekend trying to talk. And you notice on Discord, there's like nobody talks on the weekend. But if you're just installing NinjaTrader just now, then you go for it. Get everything ready, figure it all out, figure out how to use it so that when the market gets going on Monday, you'll be all ready. You know what you want to do, right? That's when you figure out your workspace and what you feel is the best way to execute. And submit your orders and stuff. Yeah. Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett has met with 32 senators over the past 3 days, and it is unclear if she has been tested, considering she spent time in the presence of President Trump recently. Pelosi says she has been contacted by the White House about continuity of government. Man, if Nancy Pelosi became president because both Donald Trump and Pence died or something, like, ugh. You know what? That is a political play if there ever was one. Like the chances
Uzi
of
Knesset
that,
says
yeah.
we be fucked.
The chances of that happening are practically nil. And yet that's the first thing that she goes on MSNBC and talks about. Are you kidding me?
Red
I
says,
really
do you
don't
think
like
Trump's
her.
mask will say vote for Biden?
No. The mask thing is super weird because Donald Trump never said don't wear a mask. But his supporters have been anti-mask. I kind of wonder if that's not like Russian interference type stuff. Seeing another story from the Hill, repeating what we already knew, that Pence has tested negative. Pelosi was tested this morning and doesn't have the results. That would be hilarious if she was positive. Then we'd really be screwed. Zero chance of it happening, but what if all three of them died?
Red says, Seth, what do you know about CTI codes?
I've never heard of that before. Let's research it. Found something potentially interesting. Custom type indicator code.
Uzi Knesset says, oh no's politicians have the sniffles. The country is doomed.
Right. Customer type indicator codes are part of a system that identify futures exchange transactions made by brokers for different clients or for themselves. 4 different codes indicate the party for whom the transaction is made. The main purpose for implementing these codes is to create a robust audit trail to block transactions by not only what and when, but also to include who. Okay. So this sounds like information that the exchange is required to keep track of, but that we can't see.
Biden several times yesterday re-Trump pretty boys line. Referred it as stand down and stand ready. Stand ready is a lot different than stand by.
Oh, that's right. That I really feel like that they're being dishonest with that whole thing. It really is. The Proud Boys are not a white supremacist organization. Like the deeper you go into it. Of course, if you just go and read the SPLC, one of the problems that I think I'm seeing is that like if you go and you search Google for it, you will basically get the SPLC and a bunch of other news articles citing the SPLC. And because they've gotten involved in altercations with Antifa in the past, there are law enforcement that
Uzi
don't like them and
says
stuff.
the Proud Boys are a meme fight club where initiation involves getting slugged in the arm by 4 dudes until you name 5 breakfast cereals. The fact that people take them seriously is hilarious to me. Muhammad Salim Alami says, did you notice the camera always centered Joe and always kept Tump on the sides of the frame? Also, the image quality on Joe was way superior in colors too. ? RJ Wheel says, pretty boys. Lol. My mistake. Trump maybe thought it was a boy band.
You know what? So they asked him about it yesterday, and he was saying, I don't know who they are. I don't know. And you know, the problem that you got with a situation like this, and I'm kind of in this situation too. Like, the Proud Boys, or at least members of the Proud Boys, have said stupid things in the past. They say the sorts of things that Sunday Driver always comes in and says, like that women shouldn't be able to vote and that sort of a thing, right? You don't want to be associated with everything that they've done or said, okay? But they're not white supremacists. So for Donald Trump, the best policy or strategy, I guess, is to pretend that you don't know who they are, really. Even though I think he probably knows quite well that they're a group that supports him and fights with Antifa and stuff. Even though he might not know everything about their ideology and stuff. If they really even have an ideology. But that's the thing that gets really crazy about it, is that I mean, it did start with Gavin McInnes, and there was very much this identitarian thing and like anti-Muslim kind of rhetoric, and then the anti-communist, anti-anarchist. Okay. And so it certainly got a certain bent to it, but it was really like a drinking group. So I don't really know if there's really any unifying theme with these guys other than drinking and fighting back against Antifa. You know what I mean? So, anyways, he condemned them by name yesterday, which is like, ugh. Probably I don't really feel like that he needs to, because they're not white supremacists. Okay, here's the open, selling on the open. She's talking about the negotiations. Oh my gosh, look at the. So my Dom and ES is not keeping up. I wonder if that's a Ninja Trader thing. Look at that. Well, they could just have a really wild up move, and I'll just eat it. It's fine. They're late 90s dude bros before everyone became a mental patient with anxiety issues at age 18, right? Anyways, nowadays, if you don't have a therapist by the time you graduate high school, you aren't normal. So beer swinging fight bros may as well be aliens from another world, right? So, anyways, but where I was going with that was, so they had these altercations with Antifa, so they were already getting trashed. And then there was a news story where like 2 white supremacists were found in this organization. So the Proud Boys actually have now, because of that, like a vetting system, as I understand it. So like to join them, you have to go through this vetting system, and they're basically trying to ensure that white supremacists can't join their organization. So like, and then all of their leaders came out and denounced white like the more you dig into it, the more ridiculous it is that they're being called white supremacists. But if you go and you search for it on Google, that's all you're going to find. And it doesn't even bring up their actual website. So their actual website, there's everything that you read on their actual website seems perfectly fine. So yeah, it's pretty fucked up, I think. Okay, well, so far, it's up. I'm not seeing like a huge gap per se, and the volume is actually quite tepid. Not sure if we can really believe any of these moves. So let's see what happens. Could be really swingy today. Hmm. this is going to be because I'm not seeing delta change. I'm not seeing delta change, but it moved up 20 points. So like, by the way, the treasuries came down hard there. Okay, so as they try and sell there in the 23 area, there is somebody absorbing. Yeah. Oh my. Can you go for 30, which is the top of the news? I don't know what to do about my evening. Like, why is it doing that? Do I need to... So I had that at 10. What if I change it to 50? Huh. That don't fix it either. I mean, it could be my depth and cells. I'm going to open up a new one here. No, this one does the same thing. I'm going to try one more thing here. Stop this here for a second. Okay, so first thing is it was backed up. This price action. It's pretty all over the place, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to have to pull up my face here for a second. Okay. So I'll just run those two for now. Oh man, they're taking it up there, huh? So I think what is happening is that maybe the Ninja Trader data is getting backed up. Do you think? Because now I'm not having any problems, right? When I feed it directly in, it's going through some of those crazy spots just fine. So now I've got to come in here. In the jigsaw thing, you can change the level 2 timer. So weird. And you still get that nonsense. 2020. Let's try that. Well, it's not moving as fast now, so we just kind of have to wait. There we go. So they've balanced out. Oh, and I can see IGAR's going short too. Huh. So I think what might be happening there is that because my update interval and my update interval parents weren't set to the same value, that it was giving me that. So I think if I set these both to 10, it'll probably be fine. Yeah. It's way better. I was basically getting one update in between them and where they were different. And so let's come in here and set these to be 10. I think we can handle it. I'll bring up my performance meter here. Okay. this. No, I think Mohammed, you need to be Shadow Man. There you go. May have been seeing that for a couple of days. I'm not sure what it was, but now that we've got the settings right, I think we're okay. That's funny, right? Does it show you that the messages were deleted, or does it only show me that? It does show you. That's funny. Well, I might go higher here. I don't know, man. Hmm. Market orders solve that problem, of course, at a price. Which problem exactly? Oh, the problem that I was having was just that when it was moving really fast, I would see these orders flickering in and out. Apparently, what was causing that was that the print interval and the update interval were different. So every other update was showing me. So I think the gist of it is that you don't want this one to be lower than this one. So it was my bad. I had something misconfigured. I got to tell you, every once in a while, I'll encounter a problem, and people will be like, "Oh, it's this platform; it just sucks," and yada yada yada. And I tell you, it is almost always user error, and I am just as prone. Well, I want to say just as prone, but I will make mistakes too with using the software. Okay. I'm going to bet you that this will come back pretty hard. It's going to be really swingy. Well, it's actually fighting down here a little bit harder than I thought it might. Kind of looks like somebody bailed big time, and now they're the robots are just dancing around here. Okay. Move this over to here. Okay. So it looks like they've run into this big order at 33, 32.75. I mean, I'm surprised that they're not just going for them. But probably he has that order there and he's actually fighting it. Which kind of means that if if we were to say come up here and then fell back down to it, he's probably going to puke. Market here says skew implosion. The skew index has continued crashing. Note is not a sign of real fear diminishing, as many stubbornly point out, but it shows downside protection has gotten cheaper on a relative basis. Oh, interesting. "35% of the increase in options positions for Tesla and FANG, 20% of the rest of the tech communication services was unwound or expired and not rolled in September. The other part could be delta hedged by the record move in the Nasdaq short futures position in other reportable bracket we at TME, the market here, pointed out last week. Question is whether or not the Nasdaq whale is back again. Facebook, Amazon, etc. have seen other rather big options trades lately resembling the behavior of options trading attributed to SoftBank by the media. The structure of the trades combined with the timing certainly has a lot of investors speculating the Nasdaq whale is back in the marketplace today, said Chris Murphy, derivative strategist at Susquehanna Financial Group. More on Bloomberg, and this was at an hour ago that they posted that. Judge Barrett tested negative. They can get these results back in a couple of hours now, right? It's pretty chill right here, man. They can still take weeks for us. Haha. Yeah. uh, So they're going to be hesitant to drop it down in here. I mean, you can see it going right here, right? Like the Delta turn says, hey, maybe we should go all the way back. But like they're actually relatively balanced. So the market maker wants it to stay here as long as possible.
Alex Dawudian says, do you think more lockdowns will happen in the future in light of recent president news?
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, the real thing is like if it kills them, right? Which is possible, but highly unlikely. Then who knows? Well, they can be like that. And I'm gonna...
Smiley Cats says, imagine.
Which one should I take? This is a good question. Imagine, yeah.
Alex Dawudian says, grin. Alex Dawudian says, so if that happened, would Pence finish the debates?
if he died, I think that Pence would become the nominee at that point, right? 87, 16. Okay, so I think at 16.
Alex Dawudian says, "Yay, that's true."
Yeah, Pence becomes a nominee. Pence hasn't tested positive yet. And then if he dies, then Pelosi becomes the president. And then if she dies, I think it goes down the line there from there. Then it gets crazy. Kind of the thing I'm wondering is where they got it from, and did they have it at the debate? Does Joe Biden have it now? I don't know if he's been tested. Okay, so we're getting the
Alex Dawudian says probably at those rallies, numbers. Maybe.
A little lower than forecast. Okay. Oh, actually, so the consumer sentiment was 80.4 versus 79. Factory orders was
305,790 says, "I think now we are going to see how ugly people will become because I'm sure there are people who are secretly rooting that Trump passes away."
Oh, I've seen it already.
Junior says
man.
Next in line is Chuck Grassley.
Is it Chuck Grassley after that?
Uzi Knesset says secretly, lol.
Anyways, well, this is interesting. They're going to ignore the unemployment because. So wait a second. Factory orders less than expected. Current conditions 87 versus 82. Sentiment 80 versus estimated 79. Inflation expectations 2.6 versus previous reading of 3.1. I'm not quite sure I understand why the market bought that.
$305,790 says, "Dude, that's disgusting. We are all going to hell."
Yeah, so on r/politics, they were aggressively deleting anything that was saying, things like that. This is just where I feel, all of these people that are all saying, oh, we need civility and decorum and yada, yada, yada. At this point, you should realize that this is all just a game, and they only say what they think will help them win an election and gain power. And if they think that attacking Donald Trump for getting coronavirus, or if they think that the president dying will increase their power, then they're going to be all for it. Okay, so this is curious. The Treasury's slipped a little bit further back to 139.16. Oops. Well, they're just gonna go. I guess I'm gonna have to bail here at some point. Why is it? When I look at my little chart on TradingView for my targets and stuff, the chart doesn't look right. The right stop is the low of the day. .
Uzi Knesset says downside value target for ZB at 22.
Remember I was saying, oh, those guys that were all short the treasuries are probably really mad. But it looks to me like they just
Uzi
doubled down
Knesset
on the
says
trade.
give her a kiss tongue out.
Don't you think? Wait, what was that about?
SVN says hey Seth, long time I haven't been here.
Hey, how are you? The name seems vaguely familiar. Well, I think that I need to go and look at some
Winston's
individual
mom
stocks
says
and
the
see
right
what's going
stop is the
on
low of the
inside
day,
here.
but hitting the like
because-
button can make speculators its day and helps his channel numbers.
There you go,
37
thank you.
watching now. Please take a quick second to hit the like. Thanks.
Because I mean, they could recover back to 3360 for sure. And that's not something that we should hold through, but I ultimately I don't think that it's a buy.
Winston's mom says and because traders gonna trade is all the rage, speculator Seth does have merchandise available which will help you all stay profitable, to use speculators as tag phrase.
So FIX is coming down pretty aggressively. Oh man, a lot of things came down. Except for rare earth resources didn't. Apple just got creamed. Like, that's ugly. That's an ugly gap down. They are definitely trying to fill the
Uzi
gap.
Knesset says should start to get harder for ZB to go down from here.
They're definitely trying to fill the gap. So the problem is that the gap fill is all the way
Uzi
up
Knesset
at like
says another
70.
10 or so ticks.
And I'm wondering, yeah. They're getting way overextended. Well, what was it about the consumer sentiment numbers that was that? Like, they reacted to that more strongly than
SVN
they
says
did the
ZB
unemployment
naked
numbers.
POC at 13s.
Like, what? Was it that the expectations were 75? I don't know, man. That's a little, I guess traders are going to trade. See, Dave Portnoy saying, Trump is going to be fine and stocks are going to go up. Yeah. I really don't see how we can have 200,000 job miss on your job numbers and everything's fine. Know what I'm saying? I think that the Trump catching the coronavirus thing is kind of like a temporary non-story, but we should be down as much as we were just off of the non-farms. Clearly, they want to. Well, that's not cute to get out, by the way. China officially attacked President of the United States? What? Where are they getting that from? They say something mean or something? Yeah, I don't see anything on Twitter.
Bottom line says Trump is greatest president in USA history. Mohammed Salim Alami says, am I right, Seth, when I say I am the greatest?
No. Frankly, I think you're full of shit. Pelosi. Hopefully, Trump's diagnosis yields a saner approach to tackling coronavirus. Probably not, because he'll just get a cold and then he'll get over it, and then he'll be like, look, this is stupid.
Bottom line says that was a lame response.
Nah. Lame response to what? When we got like 20 people talking, you have to be a little bit more specific about what you guys are talking about, right? Odd drop in University of Michigan buying conditions for houses. Okay, so
Bottom line says Trump will come through with flying colors and prove Dems once again they are wrong.
Well,
Mohammed Salim
probably.
Alami says he is talking about Pumpadum Putawam.
Probably he's going to be just fine. Like, honestly, the chances of you dying from it were really low anyways, even if you were old. Even if you had some of the conditions that he had, it was still a pretty low death rate. And the treatments that we have available to us are so much stronger. The chances of him actually dying from it are like practically nil. The question though is how sick does he actually get? Like, is it going to be like Boris Johnson where he has to go to the hospital? And that could really spook markets, right? Cudlow's negative. And then you get into the whole
305,790 says it's going to be similar to Brazilian President Bolsonaro, who contacted COVID and he said before it was a little cold and even after he got better didn't want to use a mask when addressing the media. Bottom line says Trump will probably be first to take vaccine and prove it works.
Well, he doesn't need it now. He's got he's already had it. That doesn't make any sense. I guess he could still take it. Well, that one's not working. So are we seeing a squeeze? I'm not so sure about that. Thing is the cumulative delta on this is not. Well, there was that first initial rise. Yeah, that swing down was pretty good too. It's let's say that the cumulative delta on it is fair compared to the size of the move. I'm not so sure about buying it here. Like, I don't know. The gap fill, they'd have to basically hit the second fixed target. I don't know about this, guys.
Bottom line says I'm talking about a vaccine that is given to those who have already been infected.
Why would they need a vaccine? That makes no sense. Okay, well, we're a little late on the draw there.
Smiley Cats says hey, at least he can quarantine with his wife.
Right?
Bottom line says okay, a shot to cure those that are already infected.
What you're saying is just silly. He will probably take well, they might give him remdesivir. They might give him the new therapeutic treatment where they inject him with antibodies from somebody that's already recovered. I think that would be the most likely. So he'll probably make a quick recovery. And it wouldn't be the first person. I mean, they've been testing these. It's been 9 months, dude. They've been testing this stuff for 9 months. They already have a pretty good idea of how to fight it. It's just that it's like, man. Okay, well, that's a little better. Hmm. Some people are saying that the lungs are getting squeezed, but I'm not so sure that's what's happening. Hmm. Well, it kind of slowed down there again.
Bottom line says are there any medications today that are given to people who have the common flu to help them recover?
Well, so in terms of treatments for coronavirus, there is, of course, the hydrochloroquine zinc mixture, which has a pretty flaky history. There are some studies that show some pretty solid evidence that it works, but there's others that show that it really doesn't. And then there's remdesivir, which seems to be progressing and will get approval at some point. But then there's also that therapeutic treatment that he announced a while ago where they use like the antibodies. I remember that was like 3 weeks ago, I think. They made that big announcement at the White House. So I would think that that's what they're going to use on him.
Bottom line says common flu, not COVID.
Nah. Well, it really depends on the flu because they're all vulnerable to different avenues of attack. So they had that buy up there and it kind of come back quick. We are kind of near the stop out line, so they are in a spot where they could continue to push up and continue to stop because these shorts are going to have a really short leash on it, right?
Bottom line says, do doctors give any types of shots to help people recover from the common flu?
I don't think so. I don't think it would really matter. I would just focus on the treatments that have actually been developed for this specific virus.
Uzi Knesset says yes.
Uzi says yes, there are. Okay.
Uzi Knesset says cortisone shots.
Feeling a little woozy now. I mean, I'm kind of messing. Remember, I told you that I'm gonna probably make some bad decisions here because I'm tired. But
Bottom line says Uzi, thanks for answering instead of avoiding. 305,790 says they give people something called Tamiflu. Uzi Knesset says my wife gets one whenever she gets the flu.
I'm
Plows the
there's
sickness out in
Tamiflu.
less than a day.
That one doesn't count. No, I am slow. Fuck. Okay, I'm going to take a walk for a second then and see if we can shake it off.
Muhammad Salim Alami says I like seeing smart people crumble live because they aren't smart enough.
You know what? I'm so sick of you. Don't come back.
Bottom line says Muhammad thumbs up. Uzi Knesset says it's part of a treatment regimen we're doing here in FL. White Trader says, hey guys, I just woke up. Does Trump really have COVID or is this fake? Uzi Knesset says he does. Bottom line says freedom of speech. White Trader says my God. Uzi Knesset says he'll be fine. Plan B4 Trade says I think so too. Winston's mom says good morning, why Trader, and yes, he and Melania both tested positive. Are you ready for the weekend?
Sunday Driver says reports say that he's showing symptoms today.
Why Trader says I know I am more worried at the elections. Plan B4 Trade says mild symptoms. Man flu. Why Trader says they are gonna use it isn't him. 305,790 says yeah, if both Trump and Biden got it, my money is on Trump for full recovery, not so sure about Biden. Uzi Knesset says, showing symptoms could mean anything from a slight cough to a runny nose. COVID never has been and still isn't a death sentence.
Okay.
Sunday Driver says Biden has not revealed any test results. Presumably, he's going to be tested.
Sam T
Yeah,
says
has he
freedom of
actually
speech
even
doesn't
been
mean you can't
tested?
be banned or face criticism. It's a freedom, aka right. Doesn't protect you from consequences, public backlash, or someone punching you in the face. Why Trader says I'm really shocked. Plan B4 Trade says having said that, Uzi, do you want some?
Anyways, what were we saying? Okay, so on Mohammed, here's the thing. I will, if people are being disruptive or they're causing problems on the channel, I ban them. Or if I just don't like you. Because I don't have to sit here and read people that are saying things that irritate me. If he was like saying something about like some political thing or he was making a point and, you know, had a reasonable argument, I let people say whatever they want. But when you're just acting like an asshat and saying bullshit, and frankly, saying a lot of shit that he can't back up, like he was saying, "Oh, I'm really great here. I can show you the one trade I took today where I won." Like, fucking, are you kidding me, dude? He's just trolling, and we kind of got rid of him once and he came back and I decided to give him a second chance. But now what we're realizing is that he really has no intention on being constructive and that he's just trying to troll. So I'm going to ban him and I'm going to feel bad about it. So totally. The guy is annoying. Exactly. So anyways, I have to say that because I want to be clear that I'm totally in favor of free speech. And like, if you're going to make a point, like a real point, then make it. And we talk about it for sure, because we are all about understanding the market. And part of understanding the market is seeing what different people believe about things and kind of working that process out. That's a part of it. Anyways. So, on Biden, oh man, was this another one like up like that? Did I miss something? Stimulus vigilantes. This is a news squawk. A gang who sold $50 50-pound notes to London criminals for as little as $12.50 have been jailed for 20. What? Okay, that's weird. Anyways, I came in after, so my comment was not formed. You're fine, Sunday. So on Joe Biden, I mean, Joe Biden probably just barely woke up, I think that it was like he woke up. They're like, Donald Trump has coronavirus. We should send him a tweet. He sent the tweet, and now they're thinking, oh, maybe we should go and get tested. So he probably hasn't even had enough time to get out of the house and go to a place where he can get tested. It'll be interesting if he come out positive. Then it gets real interesting, doesn't it? I doubt Biden sent that tweet. You're probably right. You're probably right. So that was a move that looked like news, and then it just kind of like, it's like fading. I don't know. You can't even pretend to be impartial. I'm not impartial. Like here's the thing. It's not about being partial or impartial. It's about being able to discover the information that you need to be able to have an edge on the market and understand it, you know. So you're going to have a bias no matter what. And the question is just, does your process allow you to be able to find those things that you need to in spite of what biases you might have? Right? SVN says bear trap. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I mean, we're probably likely to see a lot of really wild swings. It might have been somebody trying to create some momentum in their favor. I'm a little like, I don't know, man. Like, it just doesn't. You see that right there. We're in a spot. You understand. We're in a spot where it's really unwise for a buyer to pick up a large position. Does that make sense? Why? Like, there's so many people long at the moment. Like, the buyers really do have control over the price at this point. And the reason that it's coming up is because they're stopping shorts out, right? But there are basically like no shorts that are making money at this point, right? So the possibility for pushing them up really diminishes, because in order to push us up further, we need new people to come into the market to continue buying it. So given that everybody and their dog is probably already participating in this market, where's that going to come from? You know what I mean? So a big push up right there from, let's say, 45 up to 50 is really kind of bizarre. Unless there's news, but I'm not seeing any news, so I don't know. That's why I'm like, if that was somebody trying to create a momentum move, I think that they're going to get screwed. But let's just see. Like I was saying, I don't think that so let's test my reaction time now, huh? Let's try it again and see if I'm a little bit more on. 208's okay. Okay. That one was a little slow, but that's because I was distracting myself. Okay, so it's still pretty bad. So you can see I was okay at the beginning, but probably like I'm probably getting tired. Okay. Somebody asked me a question about Jigsaw. Let's see here. Is Jigsaw substantially helpful in day trading futures, particularly for scalping? Yes, it absolutely is. I really do not think that I could trade the way that I do without the DOM. Now, I think that they really push the analysis section of it, and there's definitely some things that I can see in the analysis and that I find are really helpful. Because the thing is, I don't want to take a trade because somebody else is taking a trade, but it still factors in, right? I'm most interested in where are people's positions, right? So I can see that the longs have an average position somewhere back to 33, 35. So that's a potential area that we might come back to. That's not from Jigsaw. That's from my own indicator. I'm going to be making available to you guys soon. But I think that the real edge in Jigsaw is just being able to click everywhere here and instantly get in, I can say I want profit right there. It's done. 5 lots. Set my stop up here. Move it around. I mean, you can do similar things on a chart, but I really don't think it's nearly as flexible, especially when the market is really, really moving. And I can see directly here how many lots are available at each price, what the liquidity looks like, how many lots it's taking to clear. These things really matter for determining where you're going to click for execution. You know what I mean? When it gets fast. So, yeah, that's where I find it really, really effective and really, really worth having. So I have a video called was the best futures trading software platform, and I explain why I use Jigsaw and NinjaTrader 8 because I also use NinjaTrader 8. And I have an affiliate link for Jigsaw. So if you do decide to get it, you can use that affiliate link and it helps the channel out. But yeah, so that's that. Oh, what happened to the reading robot? That worked better. So when there's too many people talking, I kind of have to read them out one at a time. I can, plus you might be a little delayed here.
Bottom line says the market is the market. It goes up, it goes down. People buy, people sell. The average person don't really care.
Yeah. Trader's gonna trade. You can get your Trader's Going to Trade merchandise in the video. Link is in the video description below. Well, they seem to be fighting over this here. So that's the second time that we saw kind of like a little, and then it come back down. Okay, Vice President debate is still on as confirmed by University of Utah official who is hosting the debates. So I'm going to add some here if they touch 44. Oops, I don't want it to be market orders. Can you show the cost basis for the 10-year? Yeah, sure. Actually, I need to reload that chart because it kind of got screwed up when the data was there. Okay. So you can see the cost basis for the sellers is somewhere around 139.19 half. If they come back up, I don't know what they'll do. So the thing is, if the equities fall out here, then I could definitely see them coming back up to that cost basis. But I think that I would be keeping a closer eye on the ZB. So I can see there 176.16. So if we come back, I think I would be looking for ZB to come back to 16. And then if I have an order in the 10-year, I'd be, maybe I take a profit there and then look at the situation. If I think it's going to get worse, then maybe just take a sequential profit or something. Trading floor audio. I hate journalists complaining about there being too much news or breaking news, keeping them awake. You have a ringside seat to history as it unfolds and an inflated sense of self as a result. Save your complaints for your group text if you have enough friends for one. Thanks. Oh, man. That was on Twitter. One of the news squawks was tweeting that. Okay. So you see how they're a little tepid about it. Yeah. Okay. So do you see how that, was the amount not going to get filled? The amount not going to get filled? Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. So it automated limit order. Pretty good stuff.
Uzi Knesset says feel like the low is in for the day on ZB.
Okay. Well, if it is, then I think that we might have a good short here. But I just want to reiterate because there's a lot of people watching today, and probably a lot of new people. I'm not trading this live right now. It is like way too volatile for me to put real money on the line right now. So, and I'm a little tired, so I might make some bad decisions. We'll see.
Bottom line says dem agenda so far. Mueller fail, Mexico caravans fail, impeachment fail, Dem and China virus fail, BLM race card riots fail, second virus wave fail, Trump's tax returns fail, Biden ultimate failure.
If Donald Trump wins, then I think you can say that. Sure. I really don't know if he's going to or not. America's bulwark against so much wrong as Trump that is despairing even for those who support him. It is Sunday. Honestly, it's really scary to me that if Donald Trump loses, that could be it. Like, the Democrats could have a majority in Congress, in the Senate. They might just throw out the filibuster, pack the court, add 2 more states, create a permanent Democrat majority, and basically Republicans just completely give up. This is really frightening that it's that close to that sort of a thing. It should never be like that. Numerous whistleblower fails. Did you see that video, that thing last night? They were attacking Melania Trump they had like some video recordings. And I was reading on the Donald, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I love her so much more. Like, a lot of people are kind of wondering, okay, she's a little quiet. What does she really think about some of this stuff? But then you hear her speaking unfiltered, and she is right there along with the president on almost everything, and everybody loved it. That was funny. The Melania Trump's a disgusting betrayal, right? Well, listen, man. Anybody will betray you. The only person that I would ever expect to be 100% loyal to you is like your wife. Any friends, don't trust them with that kind of shit. Like, if any of you guys ever become president or something like that, never say anything in confidence to anybody that could possibly be distorted by the media, because money is very persuasive. What can I say? I mean, honestly, if you get $1 million and be set for life, would you really? It's disgusting, but that's the way it is.
Winston's mom says Melania was on tape complaining about Christmas decorations.
Well, yeah,
she said, who cares, and has the jacket to prove it.
Yeah, because there was that whole thing where the media was complaining about their decorations. I totally understand how she feels. What are you talking about? Frightening?
Plan B4 Trade says, what are you talking about, Seth? Freighting is seeing people living through a dystopia and not even realizing it.
Sunday Driver says people who secretly record public figures are disgusting. Derek Jeter makes all house guests surrender their phone upon entering.
Look, I don't really know a whole lot about the freight industry, and the last time that we tried to talk about the freight industry, we got an earthquake, so I think we should just leave that one alone. The whole thing, like we were talking about earlier with the Proud Boys, like they're like literally like these guys are coming out. We're not racists. We denounce white supremacy and all of this sort of a stuff. And like Twitter bans him. Like, what the hell? So like, you're in a presidential debate. Like, this is crazy, right? You've been mentioned in a presidential debate, and Google and Twitter are basically making it so that people can't know what your response to is on it. This is insane. They are suing, apparently. They're going to sue Joe Biden. Man. Yeah, is it a dystopia? It is. What tech is doing with censorship is so not okay. We really need this. I'm telling you, assuming that everything goes well, and that we're in the optimistic, good future that I always am assuming we are going to have in the end, people are going to look back on this, and we're going to look back on it in the same way that people look back on some of the things that happened during World War II and so on and so forth. Like, people will be like, the the tech companies could really censor you like they allowed that, your grandchildren will be shocked, and you'll tell them all about it. You'll tell them about this particular thing where an organization was mentioned in the debates, and the media was like actively censoring them about it and not allowing them to defend themselves that they weren't racists, and your kids will just be shocked. Your grandchildren, like that's the way the people are going to look back on it. I'm not going to get on Gab. I don't know if Gab's the. Why is it? Where's that other one? I can't remember what it's called, but you can't view anything on it unless you've signed up, which is retarded. That one's not very well, but I don't know why people had a problem with Gab. When I go to Gab, I don't ever see anything interesting on it. That's the problem with Parler. Parler's the one it's like a walled garden. It's stupid. I don't know what those guys are thinking. You want everybody to be able to read it. Why do you have to be? It's a joke. Parler is a joke still. I agree. Like, honestly, what business reason would you have for not allowing everybody to read it? Because that's how you get people to join it, is that people start linking the tweets. And yeah, that can only be that you don't actually want to be popular or something. I don't know. I'm not into Parler. And a lot of the people that were into it were kind of like, people that I didn't necessarily trust.
RJ Wheel says if it wasn't for Trump it would have been Bush versus Clinton in 2016 to ensure the one-party rule that has existed since 1980.
Sunday Driver says the biggest mistake was the USA under Obama, surrendering US control of the internet.
Uzi Knesset says nah, public schools will have turned all our grandchildren into soft rainbow potatoes by then.
Well, there's the whole thing with ICANN. We haven't really seen that come to fruition, but you have a point. Like, there could be a point in the future where you literally can't even visit the websites, which is just insane.
Winston's mom says, speaking of potatoes, I have a recipe idea for Speculator Seth and his smoked pork. How did that turn out? I remembered a simple sauce. Apricot marmalade and a good mustard. Stir and sit.
I have to think about that.
Sunday Driver says Gab has a negative reputation because all the right-wing people banned on Twitter went to Gab. To me, that's a positive. A truly free speech platform will have those controversial voices.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me if there was like other people worth following there too. That's the problem with Gab, is that there's nothing interesting there, unless you're one of those people.
Troubleshooters says hello. Winston's mom says Mark Meadows, the White House chief of staff, is speaking from the WH and says the president is in good spirits and feeling okay.
Oh, he feels okay.
Bottom line says, where are all the big time celebrities for Biden? Hardly a peep. Winston's mom says, clip apricot marmalade and mustard for smoked pork.
I kind of forgot about that, but I'm still want to do that. We're going to do that this weekend. I think my mom made some jam, so we might be using the jam. But I'm just not sure about what was it? You were saying it was like twice baked potatoes is what you make? What was that? You make with the potatoes, Win? Who is QAnon? I really don't feel like going into that right now. The QAnon, he made a thing that at some point that Donald Trump would go into isolation. Was one of the predictions. And so the QAnon people think that him catching the virus and going into quarantine is a fruition of that prediction, and that things are supposed to get super crazy now. But I think it's all bullshit. The best and simplest way to make shredded pork barbecue is in the pressure cooker? No. We are smoking it. I'm going to smoke a pork butt. I'm pretty sure I know what to do on that. What I don't know is what to do for sides. I think we're going to make rolls from scratch. I don't want to do mac and cheese because we did mac and cheese last time. I'm glad I made you think of potatoes. Okay, so Win will link the recipe in the video. Maybe we'll make that one. Or maybe we'll find a more barbecue-y version of it if it's not quite up to what we want. Didn't QAnon predict an internet shutdown months ago? I don't remember. The whole thing is a LARP. It's there's no truth to it. It's a confirmed LARP.
RJ Wheels says yes when he comes out. People believe JFK Jr. will be beside him to announce the swamp report.
Sunday Driver says QAnon was discredited and pretty much attributed to being a 4chan hoax joke.
Right. Oh, you're right. It was the people that did it had the screenshots of them planning it and everything. It's a confirmed LARP. You have the original what?
Bottom Line says I got the original 1918 recipe for the Coney Island hot dog sauce. Winston's mom says, have you ever made pretzels at home? They are relatively easy if you yeast well, and because you boil them in baking soda, it's a great science lesson for the children.
I haven't done that. But we want to think barbecue. Think barbecue. Like if you were going to start a barbecue restaurant, what would your sides be? And I want to try and make 2 sides that you would have at said restaurant. That's all. That's the way I'm thinking about it.
Winston's mom says, bottom line, nice. I like a good hot dog and Coney Island has the best.
Hot dog sauce, huh? I always have corn dogs. Oh my gosh, Disneyland has the best corn dogs. Reminding me of the Disneyland corn dogs. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep my eyes over here.
Sunday Driver says cornbread is a must. Dirty rice is a must. Creamy potato salad, coleslaw. If you don't have a mac and cheese side, people will wonder if you are sane.
You think so? Dirty rice, huh?
Winston's mom says here in Tennessee, we have meat in 3, usually something fried with a potato, a veggie and another something carb loaded and delicious plus rolls.
So I was thinking that I would do
Live
cornbread.
Action says location key for restaurant Coney Island made Nathan start.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking maybe I would make cornbread, but then if I want to do it pulled pork on rolls. So I don't know if that one makes sense. But you're right. We need something that needs to be like a potato and a veggie is what I think we should do. So we could do like Wynn's potato recipe, and then we could get a vegetable. Or maybe I'll have my parents make one of those things.
Winston's mom says, why don't you do some fall vegetables like roasted beets, squash or pumpkin?
Oh, that's a good idea. They're like barbecue squash. Smoked squash. Is that a thing? That's a really good idea. I'll search that after this. And I guess I need to talk to my mom and confirm that we're still going to do it on Sunday. Well, so what happened was we got
Bottom
back
line
to the
says
bowl.
Sunday Driver. It's beer, Coke and coffee for me.
We got back to the bowl cost basis.
Sunday Driver says just look at the Bojangles menu for ideas.
Didn't catch it. I was thinking 35, and I missed it, and it came up then, so I wasn't paying close enough attention. That's why all of a sudden I'm like, I think I need to watch over here because I think I'm missing some things. And it's moving around so much that it all matters. Now, of course, if they come back again, maybe they'll cross the line and they'll come back to the 23 area.
Winston's mom says sweet potatoes would be nice this time of year. I make a good bourbon sweet potato casserole, but you probably don't have bourbon anywhere in the house. I usually don't either, but it makes the dish.
Sweet potato casserole with bourbon. That sounds interesting. Okay.
Sunday Driver says if you are making pork barbecue sandwiches, then you must have coleslaw, as a lot of people like to put slaw on their pork barbecue sandwich.
Right. That's what I thought, but my wife is like, ew, coleslaw. She doesn't like it. I feel like that coleslaw is an important factor. Look at that. See, this guy is not giving up.
Bottom line says if Biden's brain was a gas, it wouldn't propel an ant's motorcycle around the inside of a Cheerio.
Okay, where'd you get that one from? Man.
Bottom line says open mouth smile. Winston's mom says absolutely, Sunday Driver. I am in the South and couldn't imagine not having coleslaw with barbecue, but I know a lot of men who don't mayonnaise. It can be made without. Bottom line says I like that robot open mouth smile. RJ Wheel says that actually sounds noble to do that.
Well, by the way, the dollar never moved through all of this. Isn't that interesting?
Live Action says Trump terrible luck virus could last past election.
Oh, now that's an interesting take at live that I haven't heard. That he could get sick and that it could take until after the election? Maybe. I'm going to guess, though, that he'll have a very mild case.
Bottom line says look up Hellman's classic mac salad. Make it just the way it says. You won't regret it.
Hellman?
RJ Wheel says he won't be able to taste his Big Macs.
You think he'll lose his sense of taste?
Live Action says sister had it for more than a month.
Sounds spicy. Is it spicy? Let's see. There's peppers in it.
John 25
mustard.
says lol RJ.
No, just a green bell pepper, not a jalapeno pepper.
RJ Wheels says he can watch Fox News and catch up on his Blue Bloods binge watch.
Well, I need to get out of this, guys. Sucks because I had a pretty good trade there off of the news. I really, looking back on it, I still can't believe that the market barely
Live
responded.
Action says my friend's son is actor on Blue Bloods. Bottom line says I love your talking robot. It'd be rough if you had 10,000 followers.
Oh, yeah.
Welton Seg LA says or he isn't infected and will test a vaccine now then publicly test negative and everybody is hopeful it's over.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, so I can turn the robot on and off, and I can read individual messages. So even if there was a lot of you we could deal with it. And it runs on a web server, so I could add some features so that like moderators could choose which messages get read to me, things like that. But I don't know if we'll ever get to that point, man. There's not going to be that many people that are interested in watching somebody trade futures, and I'm not like the most amazing person at it in the world or anything. There's always going to be like a bad times, you know, for people to say, "Well, I'm not going to become a millionaire from watching this," so they go away, you know. But we've been doing really well. Hmm. So this is looking a little more negative. Um, yeah, it's not really in a spot.
Sunday Driver says coronavirus is one of those things a generation has to put up with. Before it's all said and done, all of us will probably be exposed.
Probably.
It's so catchy and elusive that there's no hiding from it.
Oh, I mean, there's going to be a vaccine at some point, but I don't know if a vaccine doesn't come out until like early next January.
Bottom line says okay. Just for kicks. Guess the movie. You gonna need a bigger boat?
It's Jaws.
Welton Seg LA says I'm here from time to time because you seem to be a cool dude. For money making I have a different trading style anyway.
That's fair enough.
Winston's
Yeah, I
mom
agree.
says Jaws.
I try and take it from the perspective of they were mostly here for information and entertainment and not necessarily because you want to trade the way that I do. In fact, I'm very adamant that you can't just follow other people. Like we work together, but if you're just gonna follow other people, they're always gonna be in before you, and you'll always be late to the trade, right? So, and that's kind of how we've been building it. But you know, it's just the subject matter. Even though the markets have been really, really active lately, there's just only so many people out there that are actually going to go all the way to futures.
Live Action says Biden can shut down entire country but won't eradicate virus.
Don't you feel that Biden had a very disjointed position on the virus and shutdowns at the debates? Because it really sounded to me like he wanted to shut things down again, which is frankly crazy. And then he was also kind of saying that like we shouldn't have shut down. It was like, oh, it's your fault. We shouldn't have shut down. It's all your fault that the economy's been this bad. I'm just like, what? No, doesn't make sense at all.
Winston's mom says guess the movie Sunday Driver. 9 million terrorists in the world and I gotta kill one with feet smaller than my sister.
So we're kind of getting a third wave here. If this doesn't result in a new high, then it starts to get a little icky. I really regret not being able to take some profits down at the bottom. I had some situations today where just because I wasn't looking seriously enough, I missed things. Missed opportunities to get long or take profits, that is. More White House infections expected. RNC chair tests positive for coronavirus.
I'm coming short of that last pivot. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I missed the question. 9 minutes. Oh, I didn't. Is that one is that one from Die Hard? Is that from Die Hard? I don't remember that line. Die Hard. Yeah, of course it goes back like
Winston's mom says, real tomato ketchup, Eddie. Cousin Eddie. Oh, nothing but the best. National Lampoon. Great movie. Beverly D'Angelo did such a great striptease in the movie. Bottom line says you got it open mouth smile.
that. I do. Oh, I got it. It was Die Hard. I don't remember that line. It's been a while since I watched the first one, though. The second one is on television a lot more often. Jeez. So I'm wondering if this ping pong back and forth is part of a larger setup or if this is somebody is fighting. It sure surprised me when it came back there.
Bottom
like that
line
made
says
me pick it
Christmas
up.
vacation is the best.
And like I said, if they were to fall out here, like below 36, oh, I forgot that all of the kids stay home on Fridays. It's remote school on Fridays.
Bottom line says okay, back to real news.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Bottom line says was the Twin Towers an inside job? Yes or no?
No. Absolutely. Well, he's insistent. I think I'm going to get
Uzi Knesset says I miss those $1.22 round trip commissions on NT with ZB lol.
Oh, really? You got that? You used to get 122? What? How did you do that? Biden has been tested and is awaiting results, says AP. Dude, it's going to be hilarious if he comes back positive, man. See, we're getting these swings and they're not following through. Biden has no plans to scale back camp.
Uzi Knesset says way back when I started. They're like $3 now, tongue out.
For the Hill, Biden has no plans to scale back campaign. Yes. Yes, because he had such a rigorous campaign schedule before. Oh, man. That's funny.
Sunday Driver says there were a few strange things about 9/11. Building 7 was strange. Atta's passport was strange.
Wasn't an inside job. You're being stupid. No, YouTube doesn't like that stuff. Don't talk about that stuff. Ooh. Benzinga are doing their voting for best, this and that. Financial tech list maker Gallup.
Bottom line says how come you don't hear from top celebrities for Biden like Oprah and Ellen? Not full force like the Obama years. Just a peep here and there.
I bet you that if they were having a full-on campaign and there wasn't the coronavirus, that they would probably do more of that stuff. But as it is right now, Biden's just trying to lie low. Because he was wasn't he on The View?
Uzi Knesset says good day today, 2 for 2, plus 8 ticks. Missed that beautifully easy short ahead of 77 evens, but dogs
8.
had to be outside PFFT.
You got 8, that's a good job.
Winston's mom says I was there 1 month to the day after. The city was still smoking. The pilot flew over the Twin Towers a few times so we could see and it was heart-wrenching.
My sister started going to school that fall. I remember when there was an airplane crash in one of the boroughs a couple of weeks later, and they were like freaking out. We don't even remember.
Sunday
Most
Driver
people
says
even
because
remember
Biden
that.
is an ass. He's almost as bad a candidate as Hillary. Biden almost single-handedly put millions of black people in prison with 1994 crime bill.
He's not a very good candidate. You're right. It really does.
Bottom line says I watched debate a second time. Was different for me second time around. Didn't see it as that bad.
I really just can't believe that they nominated such a bad candidate, right? Man, if Donald Trump catching coronavirus ends up being the thing that wins him the election, that'll be the funniest thing. That would be the cherry on top of it all. Don't you think? Don't you think that would be the cherry on top?
Sunday Driver says I think Tulsi Gabbard would be winning this in a walk.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think that Pete Buttigieg would be doing a better job, probably, yeah.
Bottom line says
Kamala,
is there
maybe.
such thing as computer contacts?
Computer contacts, what do you mean? Man, they're playing with me.
Welton Seg LA says agreed it's hard to choose the lesser evil in this election. Bottom line says look it up.
Here, once again, it's just really not doing
Sunday
what I
Driver
want it
says,
to.
does this meet the criteria necessary for a delayed election?
That's a good question. I don't think that anything
Bottom line
ever
says they are made by
meets.
Mojo.
Okay. So Trump infected himself on purpose.
Winston's mom
Somebody's
says,
saying
bottom
in
line,
Discord.
do you mean computer contacts as in optical aids you wear in your eyes like Google Glass?
What are you talking about?
Mars says, hi Seth.
Hello, how are you? I just feel dumb right now. What is this doing? The hell is this? Bah. Bah. Come on.
Bottom line says I'm talking, whereas you can read a screen from contact lenses built inside.
Oh, okay. I think that there's such things are in development. Yeah. Probably not to the point where I would spend money on it, but I don't know. I want to get rid of the contact lenses. I want to get
Bottom
eye
line
surgery.
says virtual contacts.
Yeah.
Winston's mom says on Monday, Google announced a new version of the R spectacles called Google Glass Enterprise Edition 2. The business-focused bifocals have a new design, new specs, and a $999 price tag.
Somebody was asking me about, I was saying the treasuries aren't supposed to move. It's like, so did you know that we were going to be in this tight of a range for a long time? And yeah, because the things that move the treasuries are Federal Reserve policy and global demand for treasuries. On what is going to cause more global demand for treasury? Like they already own like as much as they possibly can. Like the Federal Reserve would have to like start buying more or something like that for it to move. And so most of these moves that you're seeing intraday are currency flows, that sort of a thing. And yeah. But
Bottom
now
line
we're
says
getting
the
this
reason I'm
move.
asking is I saw where they said Biden's eyes were dark and not blue. Some think he was wearing high-tech contact lenses to help him through debate.
I don't know. It can just be the lighting, dude. Like, I gotta tell you, like, I think that the thing is on the internet, there can be like a story, right? And if it's a story that actually means something, like everybody on the news, like they're all over, everybody always already knows it, right? So to have something interesting to talk about, you kind of have to start to talk about something that's like far out there, like Joe Biden was wearing a special contact lens during the debate. Well, that's out there stuff, and most of the time there's nothing to it. So I wouldn't, you know, I I think that if you trade and you get really focused on that kind of stuff, you have a hard time trading. That's all. This is looking very ascending triangle-y.
Winston's mom says my grandfather had a friend who lost an eye in the war and he wore an artificial eye. He had the American flag on his glass eye. The first time I saw his eye, I thought there was flag behind me.
Sunday Driver says notice that Biden didn't need to adjust his teeth. I think he had a speaker in his false teeth that used his facial bone structure as a means of broadcasting sound in his ears.
They said that they wouldn't check him. They wouldn't allow
Moa
them
says
to
what's
check
the
for an
difference
ear
between
screen?
Antifa's Joe Biden and Seth? They both shut down freedom of speech of the people they don't like. HHHHH.
Oh, look, it's another Salim. What do we call them? He's trying to what is the word? Ban avoidance? Ban evasion? Wish that they had a ban.
Uzi Knesset says so. Is that what third world life is like? Making 1 billion Google accounts to harass a small streamer? Lol.
Apparently.
Bottom line says what's the latest update on Kyle Rittenhouse?
I haven't heard a whole lot from him soon. I did hear that they are suing Joe Biden for calling him a white supremacist or whatever for libel. They're suing Joe Biden for libel. Saw that. Oh, and the RNC because they had like a commercial. It was in that commercial. How about I just hold it long here so that it will go back to the low of the day? What do you guys think about that? Would you like to see a short? You can all go short here.
Bottom line says a riot's still ongoing in Portland.
I haven't heard anything about riots in Portland lately.
Sunday Driver says when are you going to do your YOLO trade?
This is totally a YOLO. Look, I'm long 15 contracts. You want me to add more? I can add more. Preferably at a better price than that. All right, that's better. There you go. Now I'm long 20. Happy?
Uzi Knesset says yay. I knocked my hit ratio up by 1.1% lol.
It's pretty good, Uzi.
Sunday Driver says both Melania and POTUS have symptoms of the coronavirus.
Well, the treasuries did not come back to the break-even areas. Came back down, in fact.
Gary Rich says at Uzi my hit ratio is 100% WCAM models. Bottom
That's because
line
you're
says to be
selling
truthful,
options.
I could really use another 1,200.00 stimulus. Winston's mom says Uzi Knesset, usually I see this trolling in our personality typing community when a 15-year-old NTP is new to a chat room. This one I have been reporting. Welton Seg LA says I don't have a bias for today. I stopped trading after having ninja issues again. Setting up Sierra charts for next week. Seems to be more my kind of software anyway.
They're pretty damn similar.
Uzi Knesset says at Gary Rich that's really good for you bro.
Yeah, come on. I don't think you're being 100% honest with people when you come in and you say, oh, I'm a really good trader and this and that. When you're selling options, it's like a completely different game to what most of these guys are trying to do. Selling options is not really a
Sunday Driver says I
option
make
for
too much
most.
to get a stimulus. If I got a $1,200 stimulus check, I'd buy an HD night vision rifle scope.
You can afford a $30,000 loss when a trade blows up because of something super crazy and your hedge doesn't get filled correctly, but these guys can't.
Uzi Knesset says I didn't feel the need to emphasize that I really don't give a shit, but, yeah, no, I don't. I worry about my own dick, not some other dudes.
I mean, I just find Uzi's performance lately to be really impressive because a lot of the
Winston's mom
movement in
says
the
35
treasuries has been
watching
tough.
now on October 2nd, 2020. Please take a quick second to hit the like button to help speculators' this channel numbers. Traders gonna trade, not troll. Gary Rich says oh so I'm just a pos because I trace.
I didn't say you were a pos. I'm just saying that it's not comparable, right? I'm just saying if you're going around and people are wanting to know what people are doing and what works and what's not and everything, and you're talking to scalpers, and then you're saying, well, I have 100% win rate. Oh, yeah, but this is because you're selling options.
Bottom line says I'm living on 1,300.00 a month, so it'd help me some.
There you go.
Gary Rich says I
Wow.
can out-trade you, Seth. Uzi Knesset says at Gary
Okay.
Rich I don't think you're a pos. I just really don't care, lol. Winston's mom says Sunday driver, I really want a night camera for outside. I do not want to hunt, hurt or hobble any of the animals who visit me at night, but I am dying to know what's out there in addition to deer. DB Golfer says it's the allergy season. It's the COVID season. It's the flu season. It's the DEMS season. Gary Rich says Seth you don't want to pick a fight with me.
You're like, first of all, you always seem so defensive about that kind of shit. So we're not piling on you like that. Do it. Scalp micros for a week. Actually, maybe a couple of weeks, and show us the stats on it and prove it. So I'm just saying it's a different thing. So you've shown us that you sell options and you deal well with that. Okay. Show us how you do scalping. Okay. I really, you say I disrespect, but I'm trying to be nice, but in all honesty, I really don't give a fuck. Like, how many people I see, they come in and they all make a big hay about how great they are and they're really full of shit and don't actually show stuff. Like, if you're that great and you want to prove it, I mean, I guess we wouldn't really care, but I mean, if you really want me to believe that you're that great at scalping, you're gonna have to show me stats. This is the thing: is that Uzi shows me the results of his trading all the time, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And I know for a fact that he is a good trader. All right, never seen results from you, and I've never seen scalping trades called or anything like that. So why should I give a shit what you say? Don't get butthurt about it. I would be doing everybody a disservice if I just said, well, Gary's the greatest scalper in the world, even though he's not scalping right now. And he's never shown us anything about his scalping. And he says a couple of things that kind of makes me think that he's maybe not as good as he claims to be. You've been long gold spiel. Well, that sounds more like investing, but that Sunday driver has been long that gold for a long time. And I don't take kindly to threats. Like, it's just like with anybody else. If it's being a distraction, then we don't need anybody, right? I would probably be just as happy and just trading on my own here, you know?
Uzi Knesset says I was also honest with you about how
That's
bad the
true.
beginning of the
That's
year
true.
was for me. The guy who comes in slinging dick like he never takes hits? Gimme a break. What you even here for then?
Hmm. Why isn't it taking so long to read it? I found this random small stream to brag about how I'm the perfect trading machine, right?
Gary Rich
Yeah.
says you beat up anyone's strategy or suggestions. Again, you have a bad attitude.
Well, so I will beat up on strategies that I know don't work 100%. Yes. 100%. Sorry, it's not a bad attitude to be skeptical and to backtest things and to prove that things don't work and to recommend caution and skepticism about random people on the internet claiming that they have these things. Like, honestly, like you were talking about like a Fisher transform. It was like, okay, I had a CCI up. You realize that a CCI basically is a Fisher transform, right? It's a little bit more advanced because it kind of shows you what do we say, magnitude, right? So those others are just kind of some of the things where I'm thinking back about. I'm like, okay, you say all this stuff, but like, it's not a system. Like, if you had given me something I could programmed up and shown that, and it came out that it was really profitable, then it would be a different story. You just kind of give a couple of vague indicators and say, oh yeah, you just gotta do this and you'll be good. And I think you're full of shit. And then you talk all hot. You don't want to mess with me. Okay. Fucking whatever, dude. Scalping is hard. Everybody, no. Listen, Gary. Here's the deal, Gary. Pull up some trading results. We know how I've been trading lately has been terrible. So now you go and pull up some trading results and show us how you trade, or get out. Serious. I don't want to hear any more about it. I'm not here to engage in some sort of ego contest with some shithead on the internet. Man. I take so much money that I need to wager the value of my house on it. No. There you go. That's right. We did find Win from live streaming. Thank you, Win. Don't make him leave. This guy is hilarious. I just don't get what his deal is, man. Gary must hate watch me or something. I find it disheartening that he's acting like this. I also find it disheartening that they came that close to that high and didn't bust it. Like, what the fuck? I'm frustrated. It's a Friday, of course. I don't think I've gotten any of these to work out. How many did I do? Wow. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually had a lot more favorable ticks than adverse ticks today, but yeah. It might be a couple months before I really feel like the E-mini will be in a place where I could actually make money from it. Maybe I need to refocus on the treasuries again. Dude, Salim, go away. Seriously. We're done with you. Stop bothering. I don't ever want to hear from you ever again. Jeez. You know, always a lot of people when I'm like dealing with trolls and shit. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's time for me to go anyways. Okay, well, come back to the Treasury dark side. Yeah. Why does the Treasury seem to move slower than the Nasdaq / the ES? Well, it's a larger tick size and it's much more liquid, so it's a lot harder for it to move. And that's kind of where the issue is that right now, the E-mini is doing like these 10-point swings, and I'm not really getting good trades out of it at all. Okay, I'm go away. Seriously. So I'm giving you a timeout, and then if you come and you start talking shit again, then you're gone. Says gotcha, thanks. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is that well, there's a couple of things going on here. So like the one thing that you have to remember is that the S&P 500 is an index. So like if somebody comes into the S&P 500 futures and buys a ton of contracts, okay, that in and of itself, like they could buy a bunch of contracts and then something happens over an Apple and the index is going to go down and that guy's going to lose money because what really controls the price is the index and not necessarily the volume over here. Of course, it's kind of reflexive because the market's going to be watching what happens in the futures and react to it. And if somebody bought 500 contracts all at once, then probably stocks would react and go up. But do you get what I'm saying? So because it's an index, you get some really random movement in the S&P 500, right? And when the volatility is high enough, that means that you're going to get these swings that are frankly random. And, you either have to have a really big stop on it or you're not going to make money, right? And so that's the way that it's been for the last 3 weeks or so for me. So we were winning like big time every day, and then all of a sudden it just went awful. Just awful. And I don't know if I'm in a great headspace to trade today anyways, because like I said, I didn't get very good rest. And you people are all being shitheads. Not all you guys, just Salim and Rich. Anyways, I think today's title triggered the trolls. Well, we got a couple of new people that did come in for that. Anyways, now the Treasuries is different because the Treasuries is not the primary market for it per se, but the Treasury moves a lot more based off of whether people are buying and selling there and this and that. So it's more of a pure commodity. So it's if you know what is driving the Treasury, then you can have a much better probability trade. And the Treasury seems to respond a lot better to looking at the order flow. Okay. But the downside with the Treasury is it's a lot, and I mean a lot, more difficult to find solid information to be able to trade the Treasury off. Dude's making new accounts this way. He said he has like 30 of them. So I'm sure we'll be banning him over and over for a while here. I told you he ran a spam farm. It's true. Are the S&P 500 and the Treasuries inversely proportional? So they are very correlated, but it's not 100%, and the correlation can flip in certain situations. You can see in this situation, the S&P 500 recovered quite a bit, but the Treasuries did not. Or, well, take that back because they both kind of moved around this time, didn't they? I know. They're inversely correlated today, for instance. So if the S&P goes down, the Treasuries go up. Generally speaking, yes, exactly. Unless it's like the S&P 500 is going down because the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates, and then they'll both go down, right?
So if the S&P 500 is being impacted by a direct Federal Reserve decision, there are some of those situations where they can both go together, where the Federal Reserve raising or lowering interest rates ends up being good for equities, right? So like they came out and did an emergency negative interest rate, the treasuries would buy and the equities would buy. Cool, yeah. All right, it's time for me to go. Sorry that today's trading was so shitty. It's Friday. I'm not sure that I'm going to get any good trading in until January, but we're going to try. Honestly, I only had like one trade that was really like good and serious, and the rest was just shit. So money won't save you during the Great Tribulation period. Well, I've been doing this for a while, but the honest truth with you guys is that trading is really hard, especially if you're small. So you kind of got to know when you have a really good trade and when you don't. I really thought that short was a really good one, and I thought that I was just going to be able to hold it all day, but they were way too imbalanced, I guess. I don't understand why the market's not talking about that non-farms report more than they are, but I didn't lose money though. That's the funny thing, is I didn't lose money today. I just traded it sim. Okay. Win bigger than you lose at close to 50. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I was actually hitting closer to 40, 45%, and then my winners were twice as big as my losers. I've been trying to ride them out a little bit more. I think that if I took the hard targets, I probably would be okay. So that's where I think a lot of my troubles are coming from, is I haven't been able to manage the trades very well lately. I have not been good at that at all. Maybe some emotions getting involved. I don't know. Okay, I really gotta go now. Thank you guys, though. It was a good session despite the trolls. So we will be back on Monday. In the meantime, stay profitable.